the other thing that I was mentioning that I want to talk to you about. So the prior to the so I'll give you some backstory. The first song I heard of you was "Fam." That was I think I had just listened to a tech song on
Mhm.
YouTube, and then the algorithm had your song on the side of my screen, and the picture looked cool to me. So I was like, all right, let's see what this song is. So I
Uh-huh.
hit the song, I listened to it, and then I was like, who is this? Because again the content of it was very interesting, and it's very I can't say relatable because obviously you're discussing that song as someone that's finally making it, and all of a
Mm.
sudden these people just show up out of the forest that have been gone for who knows how long, all of a sudden saying, hey man, remember me, take care of me, this that. But then
Yeah.
the whole thing for me was like there's substance behind the song, because
Mm.
I've never been much of a rap or hip hop fan because I've only kind of heard what the mainstream stuff is, and I'm like,
Right.
This stuff isn't relatable. Like I'm not thinking about the club and this and that." So then when
Right.
I heard that, I was like, "All right, I gotta see what else this guy has." So the more I listen, I'm like, "This is some important topics that that you are singing about." And the more I researched you, I saw that I started to see that you're very big on mental health awareness. And this May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I saw that you had posted like the second day of the month. You were saying, make sure this is our month, take care of yourselves.
Yep.
Why is it that mental health awareness is so important to you? What is it that's kind of made you such a big an advocate of taking care of oneself in that regards? Because I think it's becoming more and more prominent now as to before. Like it was more stigmatized before, where now people are finally coming around to why it's important.
Um, I feel like it's important because number one, like, and I don't think I've ever went on a record and said this, but like, especially with men, we don't. I feel like society makes it or has this type of standard that a lot of people, and it definitely is an invisible standard, but it's not non-existent, but they have this standard of like men aren't allowed to like have emotions, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I feel like that's a big problem with men, especially like independent men who are definitely strong, have a lot of pride, take care of things, rarely show any sign of weakness, because those are the men who go through it the most.
Mm.
And not having an outlet to talk about things, or to, get things out. There's a lot of us who are behind closed doors going through the craziest stuff. So I definitely wanted to, open up and talk about it because, I as a man have been through so much in and out of hospitals to where like I wear my heart on my sleeve, bro. So like there was a time when I didn't want to bottle anything up anymore. So like in turn, um I got into trouble, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I did a lot of things that were were me not in the right mind state, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. So my thing was is like when I started going to group therapy and I started listening to my doctors and I started listening to my nurses, um, there was a sense of healing in it. I felt better. So I said, oh, I might do music and talk about this and these experiences one day. But I noticed that, of course, that's not what the mainstream is doing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know if anybody wants to hear this. So I took a gamble and I just started talking about it. And that connected with so many people to where like my fan base started becoming like built on that. Like they were all like, talk about stuff like that. We love this. And people started coming to my shows saying I saved their lives and all that. And it was just from my personal experiences, I saved lives. So I'm like, this definitely has, because you can imagine, like, I don't know if I want to talk. That's everybody's problem.
Hmm.
I don't want nobody to judge me if I tell them I I'm suicidal or I'm depressed or I don't want to talk, that's what a lot, so they don't, and they hide it.
Mm.
So when I started talking about it and people started embracing it and I started seeing it was helping people, I say to myself, well, I gotta do this. This is what I'm put here to do. If I saved one life, I could save 100 lives. If I saved 100 lives, I could save 1,000. At least I'm doing something positive with it. And that's why it's so important to me because I know how it affects people. Also, being a person that it's affected in the past.
So, would you say that in addition to kind of you said you went through therapy, how 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 impactful was you relaying all of that through your music to your and you essentially kind of feeling more improved, more like yourself? Like, how cathartic was it for you to be able to channel it through that outlet as well, in addition to utilizing the other resources you were?
You said as far as like putting it through music,
Yeah.
um, it felt amazing. It feels amazing, bro. Um, at first I was taken aback, and then I was like, holy crap, man! Like people are really receiving this, and it's having an effect. And then I seen that it started to spread, and more people, and it started getting intense to where it was like people were messaging me like, "Yo, you saved my life," and I was gonna, people have had nights where they were gonna what they thought they were gonna go through with a suicide. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I somehow popped in their head or a song that somebody showed them, and it made them change their mind. And for me, that's the best type of news I think I could ever receive as far as like having a purpose in this world when it comes to helping people and being some sort of assistance or symbol of strength or pillar of strength. But like for me, I'm like, that means because that means you know what I mean? It's like how
The
many
impact
people
was
can
made.
think about it like if you were to leave from doing this podcast and you go outside and there's somebody, I don't know, laying in the middle of the street that oncoming traffic doesn't necessarily see, but you're able to get there in time and save their life. You'd be
Mm,
like, "Yo, I saved a life today."
right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what it feels like. It's like, "Yo, like I saved somebody's life. Like that's incredible." And then imagine if you could just keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
So that's
mhm.
kind of what I would think that that's I'm sure something that continues to fuel that for you. And then you
Yeah.
had mentioned that um kind of when you were saying it's difficult for men to discuss it sometimes, and then once you start to channel and share your experiences through your music, people seem to connect, and they were telling you like, keep at it with this, like talk about this, talk about that. I
Mhm.
think, just as someone listening, I think the reason that's the feedback is like, as like someone that's listening that maybe was uncomfortable revealing that information about themselves, when they see someone in that kind of a on that kind of a platform with that popularity sharing that kind of a thing, it's like, wow, that guy's doing it. And so I'm not alone. Like, I'm hearing what this man's saying, the struggles he's had, and it's like, that so it's like, I'm hearing that I kind of feel like that, but he's able to talk about it, so maybe I should be able to too.
Right. And that's the part I love about it is because of the domino effect it has with people opening up dialogue. So they hear me talking about it and they say, look, well, look at him. He's gotten signed. He's came from being homeless and in mental hospitals, and he was, committed by the Board of Mental Health. He went through all of that, and he's doing shows in front of thousands of people with Tech Nine. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that that gives them not only the encouragement to talk about it and embrace it and want to better themselves, also it gives them the perspective of I can make it in whatever I want to make it too with battling this illness. Like I feel like a lot of people are held back by their mental illness, maybe because they don't have the right type of help or the right type of assistance. And then in the same breath, some of these people just don't know how to overcome it and
Mm.
do regular things that we do in life. Like some people have to go to grocery stores accompanied by people, or they have to go through vocational rehab and have to get jobs, doing different things than other, you know, civilians in their own particular lane.
Right.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy how much it affects people. And then I think the even crazier thing is how much people it affects that choose not to say anything and just
Mm.
continue to go through life.